Hi, it's me again. And now, after talking about the chapters 10 to 11, chapter 10 to 12, we're now going to discuss the WLAN configuration and chapter 13 of our bridging course to SRWE. Now, when we hear the word configuration, it means that modifying, it can be modifying or adding something, or configuring means like according to Google. Okay, according to Google, configuring is to put together in a particular form or arrange or order. So we're in the WLAN configuration, we are arranging our routers or our wireless devices. Now, first, let us talk about the wireless router. The wireless router is the basic component that will get us through this WLAN configuration. The wireless router, there are remote workers that is installed in small branch offices and home networks. They're they're the source or they're source of the wireless connection. Um, Now to log into the wireless router, okay, let me show you something. Now to log into the wireless router, you need to input the IP address of our router. For in this case, I have 192.168.1.1. Then input the username and the password. This is used to authenticate you. Okay, now we are logged into our, or we are now, we can now configure our router. Now we need to talk about the basic network setup. So first, we need to log into the router from a web browser just like I did earlier and change the default administrative password. Now to change the administrative password, we can find it here in our basic setups, WLAN, yeah, page configuration, advanced setup. In our case, uh, I'm not going to change the administrative password because I just changed it. But yeah, you get the idea. The administrative password is the one you use that in the login page of your router. You can also change the admin name, admin username. Now you can, after changing the administrative password, you need to log in with your new admin password. Then you need to change the default DHCP IPv4 addresses, then renew the IP address, and then log into the router with the new IP address. This is to be more secure of your router. Now, the basic wireless setup is to view the WLAN defaults, then change the network mode, configure the SSID, to configure the channel, configure the security mode, configure the passphrase. Why is it done? It is done to secure your routers from users that you are not authorizing. You cannot just leave your wireless LAN open, because too much users can slow down your connection. Now we have the NAT for the IPv4. Okay, in a wireless router, if you look for a page like the status, you will find the IPv for addressing information that the router uses to send data to the internet. When we talk about router, uh, we cannot skip the part of the QoS or the quality of service. Many wireless routers have an option for configuring the quality of service. In my case, in my router, because I'm using a default modem router from my internet service provider PLDT, we don't have the quality of service set up. So by configuring QoS, you can guarantee that certain traffic types such as the voice and video are prioritized over traffic that is not as time sensitive, such as the email and web surfing or browsing. So you can always modify the QoS for your certain use. Port forwarding. Wireless routers typically block TCP and UDP ports to prevent unauthorized access in and out of LAN. So this is when the traffic reaches the router determines if the traffic should be forwarded to a certain device based on the port number found with the traffic. Now we have the configuring the WLC topology on configuring a basic WLAN and WLC. First is the WLC, yeah, WLC topology. The topology and addressing scheme, uh, the topology and the addressing scheme of this WLC topology eh, is like what do you call this? A star topology. It looks like a star topology, a hybrid star topology. Yes. Now to configure or log into the WLC or the wireless LAN controller, it is not much that different from configuring a wireless router. The big difference of this is that WC controls APs and provides more services and management capabilities, many of which are beyond the scope of the plain wireless router. So we have the WLC basically controls or manages the access points you cannot do in a normal router. Now viewing the AP information. Okay, I just don't have the WLC, but you can if you have an app or I don't have an access point myself. So if you want to if you have an access point, you need just to you need just to follow these steps. First click access points from the left menu to view an overall picture of the AP system information and performance. The AP is using your default IP address because Discovery Protocol is active on your network. The WLC knows that the AP is connected to a port on the switch. Now, if you click Advanced Setting, most WLC will come with some basic settings and menus that users can quickly access to implement a variety of common configurations. For for your for your router, if you click the Advanced, and you can access now the summary page. Configuring a WLAN, wireless LAN controllers have ports and interfaces. Okay, so what are ports? First, ports are the sockets for the physical connection to the wired network. Uh, they resemble the switch ports. So I have here a router. This router. This is a TP-Link router. This is not functioning na, so I cannot use this to for this video. So talking about the ports, these are what you call the ports. You have the blue one here is the one. Okay, so blue here is the one. Then these are the LAN ports. So what you connect here in the one is the Ethernet cable that goes through your modem, or yeah, it goes through your modem. The one router provides you internet service. This ports right here, if you have a LAN cable, or PCs or devices that supports only LAN cable, you can plug your LAN cable here. And the modem also, modem and okay, yeah. So you get the idea of that. Now we have the reset button and the power button, power plug. Then we have the antenna of the router. As you can see, this is single band router. Does not provide 5 gigahertz. Now creating a WLAN, it is it is so simple that even a child can do it. First, to create the WLAN, uh, to create a WLAN, you need to have an SSID. This identifies your wireless router or wireless device. Now, enable the LAN. After putting in the SSID, need to enable it for the devices, for the end devices, to be able to search for your network in the list of available networks. Now we need to select the interface. The interface, or the interface group, if others call it, when you create a WLAN, you must select the interface that will carry the WLAN traffic. To secure the WLAN, you need to put in the password, enable a password. Usually, we do it with the WPA2, PSK, or the WPA2 personal. In the layer 2 security drop-down box, verify that the WPA2 or whatever you select is selected, because if you don't, and you will not be able to put a password. Then after that, click the apply. Now to verify that the WLAN is operational, uh, verify it if you can, if it is configured with the if it is configured as the SSID that you input and the password. Now you can monitor the WLAN through the summary page of your router. Then to view wireless client details, you can always find it in the monitor area and then the clients. You can see who is connected to your network. Now talking about the WPA2 Enterprise WLAN on the WLC, we have the SNMP and radius. SNMP is also called the Simple Network Management Protocol, and the radius is the Remote Authentication Dial-in User Service. SNMP is used to monitor the network. The network administrator wants the WLC to forward all SNMP log messages called trap to the SNMP server. For WLAN user authentication, the network administrator uses a radius server for authentication, or the AAA services. Now you can configure an SNMP server information by clicking the management on your router to access a variety of management features. Then click SNMP to expand the submenus, and then click trap receivers, click new to configure a new SNMP trap receiver. Then enter the SNMP community name and the IP address, then click apply. To com- uh, To configure radius server information, just click on security, click radius, click authentication, click new, and do the same, and then click apply, do the same as WLC. Um, okay, so now to configure a new interface, you just need to follow this few steps. To create, first is create an interface, then configure the VLAN name and ID, then configure the port and interface address, configure a DHCP server address, then click apply, then confirm, then verify the interfaces. Now to configure a DHCP scope, just follow these steps also. First is to create a new DHCP scope, then name the DHCP scope, verify the new DHCP scope, configure and enable the new DHCP scope, then verify the enable DHCP scope. So we are hearing that on all of our configurations, uh, we can observe that the naming of the DHCPs, the VLANs, the SSIDs, we can hear it often. Why? Because renaming your SSIDs provide better security, because having your default SSID or default name makes it easier for an attacker to breach your network. To configure WPA to Enterprise WLAN, by default, all newly created WLANs on the WLC will use the WPA2 with an advanced encryption system, or the AES. So, to configure a new WLAN on the WLC, first is to create a new LAN, then second, configure the WLAN name and the SSID, and then enable the WLAN for the VLAN 5. Then verify AES, then configure WLAN security to use the radio server, then verify the new VLAN is available. Now if we have now configured our WLANs, so now we can use it. Yeah, right? We can use it. Now, what if we encounter the problem? So we need to know the troubleshooting of the WLAN. For these are the steps that you need to follow when troubleshooting WLAN. First is identify the problem. Now, why did uh why did we need to troubleshoot our network, our WLAN? Uh, so we need to identify the problem, then establish a theory of probable causes. So if you think that your network is, or your internet is slowing down, it's because the you have many end users connected to it. So this can be a cause. So test the theory to determine the cause. Okay, now so you have your theory. So test it. For example, change your password, change your SSID. Then see if your speed has improved or not. Okay, so now you've done that. Now establish a plan of action to resolve the problem and implement a solution. Now what is your plan to solve this problem? Now in our case, because we are suspecting that the slowing down of our internet is because of too many clients. So our plan here is to change our password and SSID, so that those clients will not be able to connect unless you have the authorization. Then verify full system functionality and implement preventive measures. After you've changed your password, your SSID, implement a preventive measure. What is your preventive measure here? It is to hide the SSID from showing to visible networks. Then document findings, actions, and outcomes. So we learned that everything that we do must be documented. Yeah, we must document it too for future references. Troubleshooting when the network is low. Mm. To optimize and increase the bandwidth of an 802.11 dual band routers and APs, either upgrade your wireless clients or split the traffic. Upgrading your wireless clients, for example, older 802.11b, 802.11g, and 802.11n can slow the entire WLAN. For the best performance, all of the wireless devices should support the same highest acceptable standard. Now we have the 802.11ax and 802.11ac, but the most recommended here is the AC. Split the traffic. The easiest way to improve wireless performance is to split the wireless traffic between the 802.11 and 2.4 GHz band and the 5 GHz band. Splitting the traffic will also split the clients on a single band. Now, you can always update your firmware. Updating your firmware means that it can be better, or in some cases it won't uh, it won't make your device or your WLAN much better, but it has some little improvements that can come in handy in some other time. So yeah, so those are the basic WLAN configuration and troubleshooting. That is all for our SRWE course. Thank you.